Good afternoon, Brian here at Fitzpatrick's Garage, Dublin Road, Kildare. I want to show you this car here, 2018 182 registered Mercedes-Benz CLA. This one is a 220 AMG specification. This is a one private owner vehicle. We sold the vehicle brand new and it's got a full service history at the garage. I know the previous owner of this car really well. He used to have Honda Accords with me, and then once the Accord stopped being made, he went into Mercedes-Benz. And this car was his second one, and now he's gone on to a third, so he really does like them. In this video, what we're going to do is we're going to check out the outside of the car, and we're going to check out the inside, and we're going to go for a drive in the car, and we're going to see why people buy these CLAs. And in particular, we're going to see why people go for the CLA 220 in an AMG specification. If there's any information you want on this car, please do call, text, WhatsApp, whatever suits, 086 843 1945. Or if you're simply watching on YouTube and you think the video is useful, please do like and subscribe because it lets me know the video is useful. And if I've missed any details, let me know in the comment section below and I'll do my best to make another video to suit. If you want information about trading in your car, about finance, or just anything about this car in particular, just give me a shout on that mobile number, call, text, WhatsApp, whatever suits, and I'll be happy to help. Let's begin with the engine. As we were saying, this is a 220 version, which comes with 177 horsepower from the factory. That means in a car this size, this car gets from 0 to 100 in about 7 seconds or so. To give you some perspective, hot hatchbacks get up to about 100 kilometers an hour in about 6 or 7 seconds. So this is the same thing, and this is a family saloon. And a car like that's actually capable of doing the quarter mile in about 15 seconds. And what I really love about a car like this, it's quick, but it's still only €190 a year for road tax, and fuel efficiency is rated at well over 50 miles per gallon. Look how excited I'm getting already, and we're only talking about the engine so far. And this car is diesel. This car is actually fun to drive. You're going to see in a sec. It's a dual clutch transmission. The gearbox is really excellent. It's one of the reasons it's so enjoyable to drive. It's fast, it's fun, it's easy to run, and it looks cool. Obviously, because it is a dual clutch transmission, which means it's automatic. So if you just want to plain comfort, sit back and relax, the car will do all the work for you. But if you're like me and you're a bit of an idiot, and you like to kind of drive the car on and experience it, then you're going to love the paddles on either side of the steering wheel, and they're actually nice. They're nice kind of brushed aluminium, so they look really nice. And the steering is rake reach, so I can get it really, really close to myself. And the height adjuster on the seat's actually deadly as well, because it allows you to let the seat up and down. I'll show you in a sec, but it tilts as well. And the other cool thing is, you'll see in a sec, you can actually bring the front end out, so you can get a really, really nice driving position in it. Gearboxes and acceleration times are all about going in a straight line, but you know what? A car like this as well, it drives up and down a back road really nicely. So like this back road here, if I drop using the paddle, back down a couple of gears, it sits lovely on the road. I have less experience on the 180s and the 200s, but this one definitely feels like a car that if you want driving pleasure, you're going to enjoy this on the back road. It changes gears so quickly. Let's see what the car is like standing from a starting start from 0 up as far as 120 kilometers an hour. Quickly that car gets up through gears, and it makes a nice kind of noise as well, so it does. It sounds aggressive. It's actually cool. But that's even without using the paddles. This is definitely the type of car that would put a smile on my face every day, and it's a diesel. And I will say one thing, their gearbox in Mercedes for going up and down through gears, I've driven lots of automatic gearboxes with dual clutch. These guys have it right. When you select to go down a gear, it actually does it. Some of the Japanese manufacturers, when you try to go down through a gear, there's such a delay. In these, it's really precise and fast. If you're somebody that enjoys driving a car, then it's got to be a 220 if you're looking at a CLA. And as you see, it's actually easy to run as well, so it's not going to be difficult on your pocket. And I think, considering the price of this car brand new, when it was about 43,000 euros or so, at the price point this car is at now, they're starting to make a lot of sense. You're talking about the same money for something like this as you would pay for a fairly normal performance medium saloon. So I think these are great value, especially when it's a 182. So I hope you can see so far why you'd go for the 220 model. Anyway, why would you go for the AMG? Plain and simply, the AMG is just a much more aggressive looking vehicle. So if we have a look at this AMG in comparison to this model, which is a model below the AMG, so the front bumper on the non-AMG model to the right is a little bit softer with less features. The grille is very similar, but it's black. But when we look at the AMG, we'll see there's more features along the bottom of the bumper, and you see it's got the nice silver honeycomb finish. Again, it's just much more aggressive on the AMG version. And while both cars have an 18-inch wheel, the wheel on the AMG model is just much more aggressive looking. Looking down the side of the car then, the non-AMG version doesn't have a side skirt, whereas there's a little bit of an aggressive side skirt on the side of the AMG. Similarly, on the rear of the car, Very, very similar at first glance. However, when you look at this one, again, softer lines on the non-AMG model. But the AMG version has these nice ducts on the side. It has these features along through the centre, and then the two exhausts either side with the black section down through the middle. There just really is no right or wrong with this kind of stuff. It really depends on your personality. The person that's going to buy the non-AMG model, they want a leather interior with a full leather trim, and they want a car possibly that's less aggressive and doesn't stand out as much. The AMG, like a car like this, you want this car to stand out. That's the whole idea of it. So if you like cars that turn people's heads, and I mean in a good way, and you like the CLA, then it's got to be a 220 AMG like this. Moving on to the practical ends of it, one thing I really love on Mercs is how quickly the boot pops. If I hit this button along here, it just pops the boot straight up. And then you rinse the boot. And actually, in fairness, for a sort of, how would you say, grand coupe four-door style of car, it's actually quite a generous boot. And it's even got a little bit more storage down underneath. In terms of golf clubs in the rear, honestly, I actually don't know, but do bring your golf clubs if you're coming to look at the car like this. Make sure to fit in the back. Or if you're like me and you don't know much about golf, it is still actually a very good boot if you're heading away for the weekend or anything like that. It is actually useful. Anyway, so in terms of size of the rear, what I've done is I've put the seat, so just so I can show you, this is how I can sit in the car, and I'm going to get in the back. Just so you know, I'm not moving around seats trying to exaggerate the space in the rear. These cars are tight in the rear, but this is not a car you're going to buy because of excellent space in the rear. It's for occupants every now and then, but a lot of people that buy these, it's usually two people in the front the most of the time. So if I'm sitting in the car, I'm 6 foot, headroom is just about there, and then in terms of leg space, I actually have a reasonable amount of leg space in front of me. One thing I always found that was really cool in these cars, look at the way the seats are moulded and shaped. They're really a comfortable 4-seater, but 5 is possible. And the material is a nice velour half leather setup, which is very sporty. The pillarless doors though, how cool are they? On the front and the rear of the car, you always know you're in something special when it's got pillarless doors. Moving inside the car, once again, as we see, the seats again have these big moulded setups already. Very, very sporty looking, and as we see, it's kind of like an Alcantara half leather sort of setup. When we're out driving, the steering wheel is rake reach, so you can get a really nice steering wheel setup, and the seat has a height adjuster, but you can also tilt it backwards and forwards. As we saw already, the seat has an extender again for extra leg comfort. Because it's 220 in an AMG, it has these nice aluminium pedals. Sitting in the car then, what are we going to see? Over through here we have electrics for windows and mirrors and the boot release, and down through here we have our automated lighting controls, which will come on themselves at night. This particular car also has heated seats as well. And the previous owner also optioned a reverse camera as well when they were buying the vehicle. As you'll see on lots of parts of the car, red stitching is very popular on this AMG setup. So things like the door handles and also even on the inside of the steering wheel. Similarly again, you can see red stitching all over the seats and even through the armrest in the centre. The steering wheel has a nice multifunction setup, so things like radio and Bluetooth are over on this side. Using controls here then, you will rotate through your trip computer for things like low fuel, average speed, fuel efficiency, all that kind of stuff, how much fuel is left in the car and so forth. And the clocks are nice and big, and as you can see, it's so cool when you're driving, that rev counter, how quickly it gets up. This light here is a tyre pressure monitor, which means when the tyres is not running perfectly synchronized to the rest. So when the car goes into our workshop to be prepared, all that kind of stuff will get sorted out. Anyway, if we put the car into park, this is the screen in through here. So using this little control here, I can go into the main menu, and then after that, general settings overall, things like even the owner's manual and all that kind of stuff is in through there. Bluetooth, and as we saw already, like the ability to make calls or stream music, and just general settings overall in the car. Moving down through the centre then, radio, and it's got a CD player, which is getting into one of the things of the past, but it's still there. We do have USB connector as well. Things in here as well, we have dynamic select, which is changing things such as the type of driving dynamics I want on the car. So do I want to be aggressive or do I want something comfortable? You can change general steering, engine and heating setups. Down through the centre then, you have your heating controls, you have cigarette lighter or optional kind of storage area, then you have another storage area, and then you also have drinks holders in through here as well. And the armrest also contains storage as well as USB connectors, and it's also got some dust in there that we need to hoover out. So if you are somebody looking for a car that's fun, a car that is easy to run, and a car that's got an upmarket classy look to it, then this car is definitely worth considering. If you want information about your trade-in, if you want information about financing, or just generally about the car in particular, give me a shout. Call, text, WhatsApp 086 843 1945. Or if you're watching on YouTube and you think the video has been useful, please do like and subscribe. Or if there's anything I've missed, let me know and I'll try and cover it in another video for you. So the car is damn nice, as you can see. I think it's really cool, but there's other factors to consider when you're buying a car. A nice one-owner car with a full service history is a good thing, but where you buy the car is also very, very important. We are a Mercedes-Benz authorised dealer, so you know things are going to be done correctly. Thank you for taking time to watch, and hopefully this video has been useful.